When things got heated, you said this about Congressman Chip Roy of Texas. He refused to object on January 6th. That's not what our base wanted. So a lot of the people who were backing Kevin McCarthy also didn't vote to certify the Electoral College results for Joe Biden. Do you think that's an important thing to the base even today?
Oh, it's very important. Well, what I was pointing out is the same people that conservatives were holding up in high esteem don't necessarily have those voting records while they're at the same time criticizing Kevin McCarthy, who does. Right. Kevin McCarthy did object on January 6th, and he's been a top target of the Democrats and the January 6th committee.
Do you believe that Joe Biden is a legitimately elected president?
Of course Joe Biden's the president. That's always a silly question.
Okay, I wasn't trying to be silly. I was trying to just clarify.
Do you think she's cleaning it up for Fox a little bit, Woz?
It's what they do. When you get told that you have a chance to go far within the party and the establishment, you gotta clean up, or what they deem to be cleaning up, right? Like with the Democrats, people on the left, like, whoa, you can't talk about the Israeli right-wing regime in a negative fashion. We don't do that here in the Democratic Party. You can't be opposed to, apartheid in Israel. Like, come on now, we don't do that in the Democratic Party. And on the right, it's the same thing. It's like, look, man, you can let your freak flag fly on this right-wing stuff, but there's just certain things we don't do. I think, again, she is one of the top fundraisers in the party. And so they understand that she's a money machine, and so that's her use to them. And the more that she plays ball, the more that she will ascend, the more that she will accrue influence within the party. And so it's a mutually beneficial thing, but this is what they do. Like I say AOC not because she's anything similar, like she's not a left-wing Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's the sense that whenever you are sort of even a little bit outside of what the established norms of the people in power are on, they're gonna come down on your ass. We remember when AOC was crying up there in the Congress because she had to do that little vote on Israel, and she was like, oh, I don't wanna do it. But guess what? Somebody told her that if you wanna become president, you wanna go further in this thing, you gotta play ball. And that's what she does. And the same thing happens on the right. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she wants to go from being a backbencher to a main player. And they spanked her. They said, hey, get in line, lady.
I think that's a really interesting point, because here you have her holding out on Kevin McCarthy for a long time, and then eventually voting for him.
Pom-pom waving even.
Pom-pom waving, and now I think you're totally right, trying to clean up her image in order to, yes, be a main player, to get committee positions, to have more power, to remain in office. Look, I think that the lesson, I think a lot of people were looking at Boebert's election and going, I don't want that to be me. Granted, the districts are very different. Marjorie Greene in Georgia there. But also notice the question, and the thing that Republicans did is they painted themselves into the corner with this question of the 2020 election. You can never actually, because what she has to do, right? You have to appease the base. You don't want to lose the base. So she just said Joe Biden is president, right? Now, she probably means like illegitimately. But she said he was president, which might piss some of the base off, but then also that the 2020 election was in fact stolen. So it's sort of like she's trying to have it both ways, and every Republican is going to be in that corner. Ron DeSantis, if he tries to go against Trump, will be in that same corner that Republicans painted themselves into. Here you have Marjorie Greene again trying to walk that line.
There's the awkwardness, Francesca, of like, a lot of these Republicans got elected in the same cycle as Joe Biden. So it's like, which one is it? Is his fraudulent or yours? Like, what is going on?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.